Hey, I'm Andy from the Ultimate Trivia Podcast.
The Ultimate Trivia Podcast.
Our show is pretty simple. 5 lifelong friends competing on a single topic to see who gets bragging rights. Each episode, Nick, Scott, Brian, Kelly, and I battle through 10 questions on movies, music, science, history, sports, whatever we decide to throw in the blender for that week. Every episode stands on its own, so you can jump in wherever your curiosity takes you. And we don't just stop at right or wrong. We get into the backstory, the origins, the weird facts, and the stuff that has you saying, how did I not know that already? So download an episode, play along, keep score, and tell us how you do. See if you can beat the crew on the Ultimate Trivia Podcast.
Knowing that I was handpicked by Scorsese and Spielberg, right? Knowing that the directors were as well. That means that, you're doing something right, kid.
Welcome to Story and Craft. Now, here's your host, Mark Preston.
Okay, here we go. Another episode of Story and Craft. Welcome back. My name is Mark. If this is your first time checking out the show, thank you very much. Glad you're here. Today, sitting down with the talented actor Jamie Hector. You might know him from shows like The Wire or Bosch. Right now, he's in the new Martin Scorsese, Steven Spielberg project called Cape Fear on Apple TV, along with Javier Bardem and Amy Adams. A great project. Really enjoyed sitting down with Jamie. Covered a lot of ground about his career, his philanthropy. Just a cool dude. Great vibe. Really enjoyed the sit down. Do me a favor if you would. Don't forget to follow Story and Craft. Just grab your podcast app. Follow the show, leave a like, leave a review. Much appreciated, especially if you check it out on YouTube. Of course, we're not video, but we're on YouTube. A lot of folks checking it out there. If you are, make sure to follow. It is greatly appreciated. Also, everything you could possibly want to know about Story and Craft, it is at storyandcraftpod.com. Past guests, past episodes, it's all right there. All right, so let's get after it. Today is Jamie Hector Day, right here on Story and Craft.
Well, pleasure to meet you, Mark.
It is a pleasure, man. So where are you joining me from?
Oh, New York City, right here where the Knicks just won the chip.
Wait, that's a basketball team? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I love it.
I'm a Mavericks guy, so it's like I had the same feeling when the Texas Rangers won the World Series. Been waiting for them to do that forever and ever and ever, and they did. It's like elation, So did you go to the game or any of the games?
You know what? No, not the finals. I used to go to most of the games beforehand, but up until the finals. But there's something about my son, my wife, and my daughter and experiencing them together, watching it at home, that made me rush home every time the game was coming on. We couldn't miss it together.
Isn't that the thing? It's not always that your experience, it's your experience enjoying it with other people, especially if it's a new thing for them.
Absolutely.
And I'm one of those weird people when it comes to football. I'd rather be home watching it. Baseball, I actually enjoy going to baseball games, and eat a hot dog, drink a beer, and watch someone else work. I mean, it's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool.
So are you originally a New York kid? Is that where you emanate from?
Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York.
Cool. Don't mean to dive into the resume already, but I know I was a big Anthony Bourdain fan, and I know his thing was The Wire. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those shows I haven't seen. There's a few of them out there that I'm like, okay, like the way I watch things, I like, man, I'm in there. I'm like power watching a whole season in a short period of time, And The Wire is really deep, It's something I'm really looking forward to checking out. And the same people did Treme, right? Down in New Orleans?
Same people that did that did Treme, did We Own This City. They did Generation Kill. Yeah, you name it, man. 160 hours of television from David Simon.
Speaking of Bourdain, I think he wrote everything that happened with the chef in the kitchens and that aspect of the show. He actually wrote that, so I thought that was kind of cool. But but no, The Wire, man, that and Bosch are the two things that are on top of my list of to watch things.
You'll really enjoy it. Funny thing about Bourdain, because you said you're a fan of Bourdain, yes?
Oh, yeah. He's kind of a spirit animal, or was.
Oh, yeah. So one day, Anthony Bourdain loved Michael K. Williams, right? Rest in peace to both of them. And one day, Michael K. was being interviewed by Bourdain at Gloria's in Crown Heights. Mm-hmm. And Mike came into Brooklyn. He said, "Jamie, are you here?" And I was like, "I'm actually filming right now with on a feature film, and I'm here in Brooklyn. So he said, I want to surprise Anthony. So he's going to be interviewing me at the restaurant. You mind just walking by and then coming in and sitting down and see his response? And I did it. Came in, Anthony's face dropped. They put a microphone on me, and the interview begins. It's on YouTube somewhere too. You probably enjoy it, get a kick out of that.
Well, that was in Brooklyn, so I guess that was no. They shot The Wire in Baltimore. Am I right?
That's right.
I always catch up with stuff a few years after it comes out for whatever reason. I got to keep up with everything that's new, and also, my kids, when they're with me, there was a limit to what I could watch because we'd all be watching TV together.
I totally understand. That's not something you want to share with the kids.
Now they're 23, 21, and 20, so they're a little different age. We can kind of start exploring some different things, but yeah, man, go back to coming up in New York. Now you grew up in Brooklyn, which is funny because Brooklyn's sort of like the place to be now. Isn't it? That's kind of the more gentrified now. Is that kind of accurate?
No, it was always the place to be. People are just figuring it out. We try to keep that secret to ourselves, but now everybody waking up to oh man, hold on a second, this is a quiet gem over here. We love it over here. It's outside of the city. You come here, you can relax. You have Prospect Park, you have Dumbo, you have all areas, East New York, Bensonhurst, Williamsburg, you name it. And it's being built out as well. But it was also always a quiet gem. Always loved it.
Well, what were your folks doing when you were coming up? What kind of gig did they have?
You know what? My mother, which is my folks.
Oh, okay.
She worked in the nursing industry, and she was basically just working to provide for us, to make life easy and possible for us. Especially in Brooklyn, especially because she had to be gone for such a period of time. She was not in the film industry. She was not in Hollywood. She was in the nursing industry.
But you're a Gen X kid, right? So you were probably like doing the latchkey thing.
You know what? I wasn't doing a latchkey thing only because I had older siblings. I'm the youngest of 7.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Yeah, so I had my older sisters and brothers to really look out for me. So fortunately, they were there making sure that I got into the house and somebody was there to actually look over us.
You were the youngest of 7. Like, were you able to get away with everything or nothing at all?
Everything.
Everything.
Everything, but it's observation, right? So while I'm getting away with everything, I'm learning as well. Hopefully, a great example is being set for me, which it was. So, but I'm getting away with everything by well, I wouldn't say everything because seriously, it's my brother's a year and a month older than me, and an incident took place on the block that we grew up on where friends of ours put a firecracker inside of a 6-foot, 8-foot speaker. Unbeknownst to us, it was not in the trash, it was just outside. So he sparked the firecracker, the speaker catches on fire, right? Now this is our neighbor. My brother just happens to be outside with him. I'm on the stoop and upstairs because we were told not to go outside at the time. My mother comes down the block and she's like, what's going on? And they're like, your son was involved with, my brother was involved with this speaker getting put on fire. She said, not my son, he's not supposed to be outside. Well, he was. Okay, fast forward, we come into the house and I'm laughing at my brother because he's about to get punished. But I didn't know that both of us are going to get punished, right? Because you're going to understand that what he did is a reflection on you, and you're not going to do what he did, thinking that you're going to get away with it. He went outside. You should have been in. I'm like, this is crazy. What kind of world are we living in where he's getting punished? I'm getting punished for something that he did that I didn't do. So, yeah. So, I learned by example. And I learned by watching.
Did that make your family tighter because y'all were sort of like the expectation was y'all would be mindful of each other and what you're up to?
Absolutely.
Or
Absolutely. That's the case, right? We look out for each other, we support each other, and be mindful. And don't keep your mouth shut if somebody's doing something that's left. If he's doing something wrong, you make sure you open your mouth and tell him, no, I'm not going to get caught up in this situation with you, so you can't do it.
So what did your siblings end up? Did any of them end up in doing the creative thing like you, or did they kind of go a different direction?
No. Well, the closest sibling that ended up doing involved in the creative process was my sister Lisa, which passed away. She was 6 years older than me, and she was the one that introduced me to fashion. She's the one that introduced me to music. She's the one that introduced me to film. You name it. And she was my North Star when it came down to the creative process and the vulnerability and the love for it, you know? But yeah, she passed away. So she's the closest one that was involved in any area of this creative collaboration that we call art.
Yeah, there was a lot of music happening in your neck of the woods back in like late '80s, early '90s. There was like a lot happening back then, right?
Absolutely. I mean, she introduced me to, well, everybody knew Michael Jackson, but I mean, Elder Barge, Albie Shore, Lionel Richie. When it came to hip hop, I transitioned that to myself. My other sister introduced me into gospel, but all the beautiful music, the 90s was the era, you know, that we truly loved. And she introduced me to a great of that. What's my guy? I was listening to him the other day. Oh my gosh. It was gonna come to me. But yeah.
That early '90s era, that was like Johnny Gill, Keith Sweat. What was that? What was that song came out? The very first radio station, I was 17 years old, the first radio station I ever went on the air at. It was in Dallas. It was wild because there was that song, In the Garden, Quincy Jones
Oh, I
produced
love
it.
that song. Yeah.
You know that song? I heard it on the radio the other day. I was like, oh, that was an immediate flashback because that ended up on at least one or two mixtapes that I handed out to a young lady here and there. So,
I mean, the thing about music, right? It reminds you where you were. It reminds you what you was doing. It's like I wrote a script called In Plain Sight, for example. It takes place in the 1960s, which allows the opportunity for us to introduce so much music that'll be nostalgic to so many people because we understand the marriage of music and film. It's about deep depth, right? And the marriage of music and film just reminds people where they were, what they were doing at the time.
oh yeah, who they were with, and
Who they were with. So when you say Quincy Jones, in the garden, I think about my sister immediately because she introduced me to, Quincy Jones and his music. She had the 45s and she had the album.
Oh, so y'all were doing the needle drop. Y'all weren't doing CD or cassette. Oh, okay. Good.
So I moved into CD and cassette, but she had the needle drops. We still have them as well. So it just reminds you and it just takes you there.
Yeah, the way Barry White starts that thing off, it's like, man, how many babies are around because of that guy, Was music ever a thing for you? Was that ever something you, like high school, did you get into like the band or were you just into music, creating any of your own?
Absolutely. So in elementary school and middle school, up until today, I still have it. I played the tenor saxophone. I have the alto sax at home. In regards to writing music and creating poetic rhythm, hip hop, I was knee deep into that. Just writing reflections of my life experience with my partners, reflecting on things that happened, things that are happening, and things that we envisioned and tried to prophesy was going to happen. It was a love because I relate that to what Jalen Brunson and the Knicks were able to do. It's like we would wake up at 6 o'clock every morning and get on the phone and just write together. There wasn't FaceTime or anything like that. It was just on the speaker and put on a track.
Well, these guys you went to high school with, or were they just guys in your neighborhood, or who are you doing this with?
From elementary school, second grade on up. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience because that same energy is the same energy I transitioned into writing now, right? Because now it's like I mentioned In Plain Sight, another project that I just directed, I co-wrote called Enough, and other projects that we're pitching out in the marketplace, but the same level of energy that we decided that I used when creating music and going to studios and listening to different tracks and watching them sample different beats and white labeling situation. It was just a wonderful time in the 90s. That same discipline is what I moved on into the film industry with.
Because in the 90s, I remember still editing reel-to-reel tape with a razor blade. That was going all the way back then. Digital came along, man. That changed the game completely. But so when did the bug bite when it came to acting? Was it on stage, or were you like, man, I want to do something on camera? What was the genesis of that?
A friend of mine, it was a three-prong, right? A friend of mine introduces me to a theater company. Community theater company called Tomorrow's Future Theater Company. I go down there. As soon as I walk into the room, Mark, just like that, it's as if the needle dropped. I knew this is the world that I belonged in. That was one step. The next step,
what did it for you? Was it like you saw people around like, okay, this is my tribe? Or was it just the process? What was it that resonated with you?
As soon as I walked in, I saw a guy on stage doing a scene, and then a group to the right preparing a dance sequence, and then it was fellow actors, young actors sitting in the audience, just small community of them, and or some observing and some just brainstorming and building. It was like walking into Fame. If you remember Fame,
yeah.
Opening scene where you see all of the artists, the dancers are their own tribe, they move a certain way. The vocalists operate a certain way, the actors as well. Now imagine all of that together. And then you walk in, and for some apparent reason, a moment just went silent. And it was right there. I said, okay, this is where I belong. This is my tribe. This is the place that will allow you to be vulnerable. You can dance. And that was the first place that I was trained also just by watching how to take time with your words.
Now, how old were you about this time?
I was 16, 17.
Did you come back to your sister and go, hey, check out what I just experienced? Because she was the one who was in the arts. Was that the first person you went to tell her about it?
No. It was kind of private at the time, but because she saw that I was interested. And then a gentleman named Maurice, said to me, there's an audition, but you're too young. You're going to need somebody older than you to bring you. And I just mentioned it to her. And she said, oh, I'll take you. But she didn't know that my interest was really into it. Like I was really trying. I wasn't even fully dedicated. I didn't know what I was doing at the time, right? Because then fast forward, I go to college and I'm sitting in chemistry class and I'm like, okay, this is not where I belong. There's a disconnect. Like I can do this, but this brings me no joy. Absolutely none.
I had the same feeling with chemistry. I'm like, I can understand. Tell me the kind of the basics. Let me understand where chemistry factors into life, but doing all the math and all that stuff is like, I know I'm not going to use this, So, I will say if it wasn't for math and chemistry, I would have had a much higher GPA. I'll say that. So this was a program that was it connected to your school, or was this something kind of like there's a program outside the school?
It was a program outside of school. It's really the springboard to the program that I've created to provide free theater arts programs for youth. It was a program that was open to the community. And I just so happened to have a friend that was involved with it. And he said, come visit. And I came. And it was a free of charge program that trained you and allowed you to present original works, which changed my life. Totally.
So you were coming in there, you started off in this program, and you're starting to already write and create and build stories on your own, right?
No, not at that point.
Oh, you're talking about this program, the program you're involved in. You're doing that, you say?
The program that I created now, yes. The program that started in, no. I came in there as a dancer. I love to move my feet. I was trying to emulate EPMD's dancer named Fendi and Scoop and Strap that was a part of Big Daddy Kane, his dance group, and I loved them. So, and when I came in there, I was introduced to acting. Oh, you get a chance to tell stories. So, of course, I began to pursue it outside of there as well.
Now, is this a program you started for kids, or is this something you kind of took the reins of and kind of built it up a little bit?
No, it started for kids. It's called Moving Mountains.
How many kids y'all got going on in the program at any given time?
We served over 5,000. It's going on 20 years next year. And right now we're servicing over 300.
So this is in Brooklyn?
in Brooklyn.
Very cool. Very cool. So do you come in there and teach ever? Do you have any, as far as you come in there and mentor kids, do you do it yourself or do you got people who are working in the program to do that?
Well, here's the beauty of life. When I started it, first 10 years, it was me teaching the classes. Fast forward, because we figured out we need a team to actually keep this thing going, the alumni, now they go and train in conservatory, they come back, and we hire them as staff. I went off to conservatory, 36, 38 SAG members now, leading TV shows and Wu-Tang.
And that's going to be really rewarding to know that you started something as mentorship and that sparked something and it took off. That's got to be really cool for you.
Well, it's really cool. It's really cool for them. It's really cool for the community. I'm grateful to actually have been given the platform that I was given to provide this service as well. I see how important it is. And, it's a blessing. I'm grateful for that.
When you were getting going, after school, like did you kind of continue with the training? Did you do something more formal or like, what was the arc of your training experience?
When I realized this is what I really wanted to do, I went to college. And I said to a teacher that taught a class called Contemporary Black Man, I said, would you mind being my mentor? He said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to act. He said, let me introduce you to someone. Introduce me to the gentleman that's working with him that grew up through the industry with Denzel Washington, Wesley Snipes, Samuel L. Jackson, and Morgan Freeman. And he said to me, if you really want to train in acting, there are some institutions that you might want to consider. And I said, where? He said, Lee Strasberg Theatre Institute, William Esper, Stella Adler. I said, okay. Then I went and I checked all of them out and I landed at Strasberg for 4 years. And then I went back and I wanted to experience Esper as well. So I did that for a little bit.
You said you went to college. Did you leave college and focus on that, or were you kind of doing both at the same time?
I committed to Strasberg, but I was also taking less credits in college because I just switched the balance now. Instead of taking 12, I started taking less, focused all of my attention in an area that I was more fascinated with, and then eventually finished that course of college and then put all my time and energy at Strasberg.
I think the key thing to a lot of guys, a lot of people, is if you get that one mentor that could just get you pointed in the right direction, and you can just kind of take the reins and go from there, But you mentioned some actors. Like, did you have a North Star? You were like, okay, Denzel, he's the template, or Samuel L. Jackson, or who was it that you're like, they're the one? That's where I want to go.
That's where I want to go in terms of educating myself.
Well, like you could look at them and go, okay, that's the kind of career I want. That's the kind of work I want to do. I feel like they followed a path that I'd like to be on. Like, was there anybody out there like that for you?
You know what? It's Denzel Washington. It really is. When he was pursuing a career, I could only imagine it was difficult. His ability to execute, make the right choices, stay in pocket with his delivery, really stay passionate about the work, and then create content that I'm really engaged in. It's one thing to be a great actor, but you're making movies that I see it, I don't. It's another thing where I'm waiting for you to come out with a movie so I can go and spend that money in a movie theater. I would still go see a film with him in the theater.
That brings up something. I was Tony Scott was directing a film with Denzel called what was the name of that? It was a time traveling thing. They shot it in New Orleans, and basically he had this machine and go back in time and like a few days and solve a mystery or whatever. And I remember going in for a callback on that audition, and the whole thing was me having to have like a little terse argument with like a real brief thing with Denzel. And I was like beyond giddy. And then I got, I'm like, I'm just happy to be able to call back Tony Scott, directed Top Gun. And all of, he and Denzel did a lot of work together. And I got cast on a Saturday, written out on a Monday. But for 2 days, I was in a Tony Scott film with Denzel, So, no, I was listening to an interview with Chris Pine. They were talking about Unstoppable.
Chris Pine.
And whenever I listen to somebody that talks about acting with him, Denzel just seems like he I don't know, it's like a presence. He knows what he brings. He's got like, that's, if you were to define confidence as an actor, I mean, I think there really is nobody higher up on the scale than Denzel.
No, but the thing is, what I appreciate and respect about him is that, you're confident when you do the work. You're confident when you're really dedicated on executing on what no one else sees. The magic pudding behind the lens, and it's clear that he does the work. Right? It's not just an assumption that, I'm gonna, You can tell that the confidence comes from really believing authentically in what it is that you're doing and this character that you're playing. So, and that also is motivational and inspirational to me as well as you, I'm sure. So I think that's where the confidence comes from. I don't think he's going to join a project that he's not really locked into.
Yeah, I think when they say it's all about making choices, that guy seems like he just makes interesting choices every time, Have you ever had an opportunity to work with him on a project, or if not him, somebody that you came up admiring? Did you ever have that opportunity to land on a set with somebody going, here's somebody that you came up watching and now you get a chance to work with him?
Yeah, you know what? I worked with Denzel on He Got Game. This is, if you want to call it working with him, but Spike Lee gave me lines and I was in a film with Denzel. I met him twice. Had a chance to shake his hand and appreciation. Another one that I really, really love and appreciate what they've been doing is Jeffrey Wright. I love character actors. And I worked with him on a project before, and we got a chance to really build a relationship. And again, what the amount of respect and appreciation they have for the work and what they do to bring it to life is always worth watching. So I just enjoy watching them and learning also. Always learning.
Well, tell you what, my friend, one of the things I do before whenever I wrap up, something real quick, I call my 7 questions, just kind of a rapid fire, just a little bit of fun. And the first question I always ask is, got to talk food at least once, especially you being from Brooklyn. What is your favorite comfort food? That thing that kind of just brings you back, makes you feel good.
Does it have to be food, or are you talking about like relaxed, kick back popcorn?
Oh, it could be anything. It could be any kind of food that you come home and you've had just popcorn. Yeah.
Popcorn in the red bag from Trader Joe's.
Very specific. Yeah. And the red bag I haven't been there in a long time. So popcorn, very good. Now, if you were to sit down 3 people, living or not, you're going to have a conversation. You're going to talk story for hours. Who would those 3 people be that you would love to sit down with?
Maya Angelou. And talk story. Ooh, nice. And talk story. Harry Belafonte. And you said living?
Or not. Yeah, anyone.
Not. Oh, okay, yes. And you know who I'm really interested in just having a conversation with her about story? It's 2. You mind if I add the next one? Viola Davis and Ryan Coogler.
Well, it's a good table. They're sitting down talking to each other. You get to be a fly on the wall with that. That'd be a great table to sit at. Now, next question, real quick. Who was your celebrity crush when you were growing up? First one.
Wonder Woman.
The second time I've gotten that. Wonder Woman, very good. But which Wonder Woman? Like Linda Carter?
Linda Carter. She was my gosh. Well, go ahead. Let me let you.
I was there with you. Now, if you're going to be sitting on an island a whole year, you're going to be on an exotic island, beautiful place. You want to be there. You love it. You enjoy it. But you don't have streaming. So if you want to listen to music, you got to bring 1 CD or a box set. And a movie, you get to bring 1 DVD. What's that 1 CD and 1 DVD for the whole year?
The DVD would be Glory. Oh, man, I got to pick one?
Yeah.
You saying I have to pick one?
Just one? It could be a box set. It could be like a whole series, it could be a trilogy or something if you want.
And the CD would be Nas Illmatic.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the perfect day for you. Next question. From the time you get up to the time you go to bed, recipe, component parts, what would those things be to say that was a perfect day for me?
Okay. Scripture, the gym, lift them up and lift them down. Nice little jog and workout. A great couple of chapters in a wonderful book. Right now it's Hamlet, but outside of that, it would be one of my favorite books, Celestine Prophecy. You know, I truly believe relationships network to life. I love connecting the dots with old and new friends, right? Take some time to actually spend time with friends or even people that I just met. I just love just to interact and learn about new people. A small portion of my day, that would be wonderful. And you know what? And then spending the rest of the day with family.
Very good. Very good. So now, do you have kids? Do you have kids at your house, or are you?
I do. I have kids, 16 and 19. Chloe and Sasha.
Very
My babies.
Mine are just a hair bit older than that, man. It happens fast, man. I get
No, when you told me the ages of your kids, that's when The Wire came out 20 years ago, if not 21 years ago. So they could not have been watching it. They would have been 3 and 2 years old. You know,
we were watching Lilo and Stitch at that point in time.
That's right.
Now, the last couple questions, if this wasn't available to you, if somebody said, you know something, Jamie, the acting thing, it's not really available to you anymore, what would be the second choice? What else would bring you joy?
Only because I was always fascinated with being a Navy SEAL. I don't know if that would bring me joy, but I always wanted to challenge myself to see how far, one can go without hopefully their mind snapping, right? But the thing that really brings me joy, that's always brought me joy, was, I don't want to say being a kingmaker, but helping others achieve their greatest accomplishment. And I'm able to do that with moving mountains, right? But helping others really achieve what might seem like it's impossible.
There's a lot of reward to that. Even if somebody surpasses where you're at, there's just great reward. I think that I totally identify. That's very cool. Now, the last question, you got that DeLorean, you can go back in time when you're 16 years old. You've got a piece of advice. Well, we got a couple minutes with the younger you. What would that piece of advice be to younger you in that moment of your life?
If I got a piece of advice or...
Oh no! If you got into that DeLorean and you went back in time, you're 16 years old. You got to say, "Hey, 16-year-old me, I got some wisdom for you. I want to pass on." What would that be?
Oh, that wisdom would be write down your short-term and long-term goals, and don't waver. Stay locked in, focus, and work every day, 10, 20 days pertaining to what it is that you really want to do. And surround yourself with like-minded individuals and shoot for the stars. Don't stop.
Very nice, my friend. Well, I have just one last bonus question, just a couple words. What was it being in Cape Fear, considering the actors you're working with and the production team? There's Spielberg, right? Spielberg and
Scorsese, yes.
Scorsese, yeah. So, here you are, and Scorsese, he's done a couple things in New York. What was that like getting cast in that? Just kind of real quick, just what was the vibe? Just knowing I'm in this thing, I'm on set, I'm acting with these people, I'm in this production. How'd that land for you?
It landed great. It landed the way that I was happy that it did land, because being in the industry for such a time as I've been in the industry, right, and being on amazing projects with amazing creators, right, you don't want to get jaded. Not jaded, wrong word. You don't want to not feel that thing that happens when you're a part of something great, because you're used to it now, right? It's like, oh, okay, I've worked with the great over here. That feeling that I would anticipate, that I wanted to happen when I was younger, when working with these greats, is the same feeling that I received once I got cast for the part. Knowing that they're involved, so I know it's going to be great. Knowing that they're involved, they're not going to just let anything fly, right? They're going to be dedicated to making sure that this work is excellent. And then knowing that I was handpicked by Scorsese and Spielberg, right? Knowing that the directors were as well. That means that, you're doing something right, kid.
That's got to give you the confidence, right? That's got to give you, say, even if you show up nervous, go, wait, these two guys chose me. They saw it. I got it. And you just could, it makes it easier to bring it. Absolutely. It seems like to me.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, thank you so much for spending time with me today. I really enjoyed it. Good things, my friend. Looking forward to checking it out and the good stuff you got coming up. But all the best to you, and hopefully we'll catch up down the line.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's a pleasure.
All right, there you go. Jamie Hector. Really enjoyed this sit down. Great conversation. Really enjoyed the opportunity to share a little time with him. And you can check him out right now. The Scorsese Spielberg project, Apple TV. It is called Cape Fear, along with Javier Bardem and Amy Adams. Hey, do me a favor. If you would, don't forget to check out Story and Craft on the web. That's right, we got a website, storyandcraftpod.com. Everything you could possibly want to know about the show, it's right there. Past guests, past episodes, and if you would, do me a favor, on your podcast app, make sure to follow Story and Craft. Leave a like, a review. No matter what platform you use, it is greatly appreciated. Okay, so I'm going to get on out of here, and I want you to have a great rest of your day, rest of your evening, whatever you got going on. And as I always say, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you making whatever I got going on here part of what you've got going on. Going to be back in a couple days. Look forward to catching up with you right here on Story and Craft. Talk to you soon.
That's it for this episode of Story and Craft. Join Mark next week for more conversation right here on Story and Craft. Story and Craft is a presentation of Mark Preston Productions, LLC. Executive producer is Mark Preston. Associate producer is Zachary Holden. Please rate and review Story and Craft on Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. You can subscribe to show updates and stay in the know. Just head to storyandcraftpod.com and sign up for the newsletter. I'm Emma Dillon. See you next time, and remember, keep telling your story. Come on.